Naturally, I was excited to speak with prolific singer-songwriter and icon Andy Kim, but it was more like talking to some type of wise, time-traveling philosopher. Andy Kim is definitely one of a kind, which is probably why this is the first time this happened during an interview. You'll see what I mean. I am here today with the superstar, soulful songwriter and singer, the altruistic ascended master, the Lebanese legend, Andy Kim. And this is wild that after all my years on CTV and on radio, never had the pleasure of interviewing you. But last year, in the tiny Canadian city of Pembroke, I got to share the stage with you and Dan Hill and meet you in person.
You are awesome, by the way. You are like definitely one of a kind. And it's funny how it happens that we meet certain people that I've known about you for the longest time, but to actually meet you and then not see you perform and then meet you and watch you perform. Wow. Pretty cool.
So that I don't cry. I want to say that you have such an extraordinary and unique presence. You're an anomaly, Andy, in that when I met you, I mean, you're beautiful and you radiate, but I think I was joking the entire weekend when we were performing in Pembroke that you're like Canada's Rumi, because I would feel like you would just materialize out of nowhere, drop a nugget like, Carla, it is, but it isn't. We're all one. And then you'd leave. But I don't know that I've ever met a performer who is as centered and as good in his beautiful skin as you are. And I'm wondering what you attribute that to.
To be honest, I have no idea. I have no idea when I'm walking on stage what I'm going to say. I'll tell you, I'm not really great at pre-thought. It's if it's on a monitor and I have to read it, I'm going to stumble many times. So it's always free form, and it's just comfortable for me to just say what I want to say at any moment. I don't know if it works for everybody, but it works for me in the comfort of who I am. I don't know. I'm just having the best life.
You
Carla,
really are. You are.
Happy always.
Now, to that point, Andy, and that's really evident. I think I was joking watching, having the extreme honor of watching you and Dan Hill in your Night of Legends songwriting. And my joke is Dan Hill, all of his songs are basically based in trauma bonding and angst. And then you come on as very much the Paul McCartney to his John Lennon with Sugar, Sugar and your beautiful wife of 40 some odd years, Summer. And you're just like your joy personified. Yet I read, and you can correct me if this is wrong, that your upcoming Christmas show, your 21st Christmas show at Massey Hall on December 3rd, was born out of your sense of melancholy around the holiday season.
Yeah, I don't talk about much, I grew up in the tenements in Montreal. So we didn't have much, but there was a lot of love in the room. So when I started having hits, the first thing I did when I was traveling is I needed to go to an orphanage or to a children's hospital and bring my guitar. And obviously, no matter what condition your condition is in, if I can quote that, I start playing Sugar Sugar and everybody gets happy. And And so it's just been part of my life. And then when I started coming to Toronto, I just thought, well, you know what? Maybe I'll do a Christmas show. I had no idea what I was getting into, but I knew that I loved the feeling of the Mod Club. And so I went to the proprietor and I told him what I was going to do and that the tickets were going to be $25 because I was more interested in the folks that took the train or really the subway, the bus, and the ability for them. You know, you take the streetcar and all of that. But I always felt that that's who I want to share my heartbeats with. I can go on and on and on, except to say that, you know, when Dan called me to do these shows, and I've known Dan since 1976. So he told me what the idea was about. And the first thing I thought about is I've never done a serious acoustic show. I always had a band behind me. But I kept that to myself. And Dan said, so do you want to get together and talk about it? I said, no. I know I'm going to be there. I mean, you're going to sing one song, I'll sing another. And so when I did that, after Dan had sung his first song, he asked me. He said, "So Andy, you're kind of a private guy. Nobody knows anything about you, and maybe you can talk to the audience and tell them a little bit about you." And I kind of froze for a brief moment, and got into talking about how I grew up, third of four brothers, you know. Parents came from the mountains of Lebanon. We didn't have much, and all of that, and it kind of became somewhat freeing, to be honest with you, Carla. And so he's really a true friend that I'm honored to be around. You know,
I have to say that night it was extraordinarily magic. And your authenticity, have you found it cathartic to finally open up? Because I find I'm very private. And then I find it most difficult on stage to share my vulnerabilities. I always joke that comedy is easy. Being vulnerable is hard.
well, the power that you have when you walk on stage, like I've not felt that with like, you know, I saw Sinatra live and Elvis live, and so I understood what that was. But when you walk on stage, it's like I'm here, I'm with you, and we're gonna have a good time. I mean, it's not dictatorial at all, but it's just the beauty of the confidence that you have. I don't have that confidence.
Oh,
It's not that I walk on to think, hey, I've done this and I've done that and I've done this. Um, I don't know. It's just, it's different artists play different roles, and hopefully they find an opportunity to be themselves, you know.
well, I'm obviously faking it extremely well if I'm coming across the confidence of a TikTok star or a Matador, because that's not the case. But I want to talk to you about artists, and something that, the first thing when you're researching you, and especially the last couple of years, your resurgence has been extraordinary. The Order of Canada and the Walk of Fame. And I know just recently I posted that you were just inducted into the Songwriters Hall of Fame by another dear friend, your other emergency contact, Ed Robertson. So, what do awards mean to you? Is that something that you're honored? But I wonder, with someone that goes as deep as you are, what those honors mean to you, truly.
Well, You know, Carla, the only thing that ever made me cry was the phone call for the Order of Canada.
Mm.
First of all, I thought it was someone pulling a joke, number one. Number two, when it was real, I just literally cried like a baby. Um, to be honored in that fashion for something that you would have done for free in life um, was just beyond my comprehension. Uh, Look, I'm living my one and only life without a sequel. And I'm enjoying my one and only life. I'm happy about me. I'm happy about the fact that um, I'm I'm just doing what I've always loved to do. Um, and to be around people like, Ed and all the other artists that were there celebrating their music. Um, you know, I said it during my moment up there. I said, I can't take a bow for inspiration. And Sugar Sugar was inspired. It was just 10 minutes. Rock Me Gently, same thing. So many other songs I've written, I'm like, wow, I'm glad I had my cassette player on because I could never have re 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 lived those moments because it's all kind of magical. I didn't go to Juilliard. I don't have that kind of skill, but I'm having a great time.
Do you think that because you're very spiritual, I've gleaned that you're channeling, or as George Michael said, he didn't create the songs, he uncovered them. That creation's finished, and you're channeling your higher self or some inspiration.
Um, for me, yes. I'll hear a Lieber and Stolder song and had been around them and been around Jeff Barry, Ellie Greenwich, Phil Spector, all those phenomenally genius people. So, what is actually a genius? Is it the opportunity to continue to do what you love to do until magic happens? I don't. Okay, so I'm a guy that saves things that people say or things that I've read. I'll write it down. And I wrote something down, and I don't know where it came from. To analyze is to paralyze.
Mm.
And I think that once people start thinking, their their imagination kind of disappears a little bit, and then there's a lot of work in creating a song, but I don't see it as work. I just see it as some kind of prayer that's been answered. I don't know about you. Do you sit around and and write something and just can't stop laughing? And all of a sudden, oh my God, this is going to be great. This is really good. It's almost like what a songwriter does when they get excited about, oh my God, I don't know who's going to like this, but I love this.
The best moment is being in flow. You
I'm
know,
sorry.
the best moment for me is being in flow. Like when if I'm on stage or just even with friends and I'm making everyone laugh, it's coming effortlessly because overthinking can kill the imagination. And a lot of my material is based on improvisations that then maybe I will craft into a more refined comedy bit. But it's often born from a silly, one liner in the moment or
Well,
in real life.
you are truly magnetic. I mean, I've only seen you that one time on stage, and That's all I needed to know. That okay, this is this is a God-given gift. This is not like, oh, you read it in a book that you've got to, use this word before you use this word. And look, I'm not here to compliment you. That's not
It's
what
the
we're
best day of
talking
my
about.
life. You've got 6 hours to stop, Andy. I can only hear beautiful things from a beautiful man for so long before I just pass out or evaporate or something. I mean, really means the world to me because I just adore you. Let's talk about December 3rd. It's the 21st year. I know you've been able to collaborate with so many people. Before I talk about the Christmas show and let you go, is there any dream collab that you have yet to fulfill? A musical artist out there that you would love to share the stage with Andy?
Um, oh, there's so many that are so brilliant in this country that December is the time where they work the most, and so I've been able to get together and know them, but not really have the ability to share the stage with. I mean, there's Brian Adams. There's you know, as I think about the artists that that just are iconic in this country, whether it's they did a big thing for Neil Young because he turned to 80, but he didn't show up.
That's so Neil Young.
And so I felt, okay, so if he wants to be that private, so why are you opening that door?
Mm.
But without naming names, there are a few that I would love to have, and but it's a bad time sometimes for them, as far as scheduling goes. I just look at those that on a brief moment can say yes. I'm still doing that now. We have not announced any of the artists, and this is what
Okay, going to be my next question. What about
I'm
a host? Who do you have hosting, Andy?
Sean Cullen is hosting again this
Damn
year.
it!
Well, you know what? Here's the truth. I I forgot to think about you, if you want to know the truth.
That's all right. It hurts my heart a little bit, but I adore Sean Cullen. I'm his biggest fan, and we had the great pleasure of being there last year. So I'm the number one fan of the Sean Cullen fan club, but I do want to host your Christmas
Okay.
show at some point. 2026, everybody.
You know what's interesting is that I think we've had a couple of hosts, Russell Peters for a while,
Mhm.
and we'll talk after this interview, and we'll.
Time for a woman to host, but not a lady, if you know what I mean. And again, I want to mention to everybody watching that it's December 3rd at Massey Hall. Last year, we were treated to Billy Talent, Men Without Hats, The Bare Naked Ladies, Rock Voisine. I know if some of you got aroused because of my French accent. And Molly Johnson, many more, of course, Dan Hill. And the proceeds go towards a wonderful cause as well, Cam H. Was that entity near and dear to your heart? How did that come about? I think you've given your proceeds to different organizations.
Yeah, it had always been different until a few years ago when I got a phone call from Donna Slate, who asked if I would come to CAMH because she had a pilot program she was working on. And obviously, since I do my Christmas shows and it's always for charity, she talked to me about what she was hoping to create. And I said yes. And it was a pilot program. And basically, most of the patients come in with a bathrobe on, or a bed sheet on, or little on their feet. And her whole idea was to be able to take money from our donation as our Christmas show and buy sneakers, jeans, sweatshirts for both male and female. And excuse me, knowing that it's a sense of well-being. Hey, I'll go and buy a jacket and come back and spend, half hour looking in the mirror saying, I love this jacket. I may wear it twice, 3 times,
Gives you a boost. Sure.
and so it started to, that first year was extremely successful, and they were able to create more sponsors to show up. And if you went there now, which is maybe 8 years, 9 years, it's like walking into a department store and having to look at the brand new sneakers and jeans and jackets, and it's all about trying to give someone more self-worth than they think they deserve.
Dignity. Yeah.
And you and me, we just had the courage to just do it. But not everyone has that courage, and you know that.
I do. I think it's a beautiful thing that you do. You're such a damn beautiful man. Makes me weep. Before I let you go, and again, we'll remind everyone that they can get tickets. I hope I get to see you again this year on December 3rd, Massey Hall for Cam H. You don't know the artist, but I'm so touched and inspired and moved by you both professionally, which obviously your catalog speaks for itself, and personally, you really, as I said, I wasn't joking about the ascended master. You seem to have these nuggets and pearls of wisdom that spill out. I have a girl crush on Summer, your wife. So you've got this incredibly, we're in rapture adjacent times, Andy. We're, it's like the apocalypse, and I think everybody's looking for a little bit of inspiration. So not to put you on the spot, but what's something you can tell us all right now that would bring a little bit of comfort or hope, or something that you've lived your life by?
Well, look, here's how I see it for me. I can't see it for everyone else. But I was an altar boy, and I think I was 10 or 11 when I heard the priest say something, and I remembered it and wrote it down, and it's part of my life. And that is, God is always on time. Not your time, not someone else's time, but God's time. And in so many times in my life, excuse me, when things didn't go the way I expected them to go, I just remember, look, I'm an early morning, thank you God, early afternoon, thank you God, all day long. And whether I was having hits or I wasn't having hits was immaterial and irrelevant to the fact that this is my one and only life, as I said earlier. And with the knowledge that we are all born with a certain amount of heartbeats, we don't know how many we've been given. So you may as well be doing the things you love to do with the people that you love and care about. And so many times I've encountered artists, and I'm sure you have too, who are funny, brilliant, extremely talented, who just don't like themselves, who just turn it on, turn it off. And and I'm happy. Whether I had hit records, I was happy. When I stopped having hit records, I was happy because I had hit records. And then you go into the bubble of, well, there's another generation, so you need to do something else. No, I was always me, and then someone like Ed Robertson shows up and asks me to write a song with him, and we have a hit, and then I win Indie Artist of the Year at Canadian Music Week, and I thought, well, wait a minute, it's because I put it out on my own label. I got turned down by everybody for Rock Me Gently in the U.S. So I came back home and I started my own record company, and I was my own promotion man, and got a foundation where the U.S. started to pick it up. Eventually, it went to number one, sold 6 million records around the world. And so if people don't like me, I'm fine. If people like me, I'm fine. And maybe I'm a fool, but I'm having a fool's great life.
Hey, the fool is the number one card in the tarot deck. We're all supposed to be the fool and go on an adventure. I
Well,
can't think of a better thing to be.
well, look, I don't need to take your time, but how do you feel? I mean, I don't know too much about when you were 12, 10, 15. So I know you as an already established artist. Um, so how did you find the ability to be you?
Ah, not many people make me speechless. I think I found it took a long time. It's more of a recent thing, to be honest, Andy. I don't know that I got there. For a while I was the queen of 3D, and I have to give my mom a lot of the credit. A spectacular mom who I think was my soulmate this time around, and my best friend, and my confidant. And I have a very, very close. I have a younger brother. We call each other pals. So I think that was my foundation. And then I finally did stop caring about what other people thought. And same as you, I try to really dig into gratitude and self acceptance, because it wasn't doing me any favors. I was rocking myself roughly, is what I was saying, Andy. And then I thought, no, 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 rock me gently, like he says, and started opening up a little more. Not unlike you, it's only the last couple of years on stage that I started talking about some private things in my act, and hoping that maybe I could inspire people. So I've really decided to show, I've got a whole, I wanted to come, I don't know, I had this image to always come across a certain way, and everything was great. And then I just thought, no, perfectly imperfect is so much better. And I can make jokes from my flaws and see the beauty in them, and be like Andy Kim and be okay when things are going great and be okay when they're not. So so it just took me a longer time to get to that destination.
Well, I look, I've been around you very little. Watching you on stage, I just got to know who you are, because, you know, I have a band behind me for the most part. You have just you. I don't know how you do it, but there's a lot of power inside of you that emanates throughout the room. And that's, to me, that's God saying, okay, you have this life, you have this body, you have this hair, this beautiful face. So what are you doing with it? Because I do believe that when we take our last breath, God's going to ask, so how was it? And it's not going to be, at least for me, it won't be, well, I remember when I did this and I did that and I should have done. No, it's like, how was that journey for you? It's, and it's so, the truth is, it's all about you. It's all about me. Not in a selfish way, but what are you doing with your life? You know, and your one and only life. And so to expose ourselves the way we do is beautiful. So I see you up there and I'm laughing and then I see you from the stage at Massey and your energy and your soul and heart are on full display and you're not on stage. So that's a gift that you've been given. And I wrap myself around the idea of that gift. So I thank you.
Andy Kim, I'm so mad at you right now because I have this reputation of making everyone I interview cry, and I'm the one crying this time. So
no,
thank you very much.
It's difficult listening. It's difficult listening to someone who is just kind of putting you on the spot and just saying all those things. But the truth is, I'm not here to make you feel good. I'm not here to win a moment. I'm just here to tell you what I feel and what I think. This is a solitary conversation. It may go around the world 20,000 times, it doesn't matter. Because we're not going to get these heartbeats back. You and me, we ain't getting it back. You're going to get it back with someone else. I'll get it back with someone else. But it's a continuous ability to recognize uniqueness, recognize the ability to have the courage. And look, you're beautiful. So what else do you want? Money? And it's only to live.
May I interject? Yes. Sorry, I had to put some levity. I want money and I want your skincare secrets. Just again, because you're so beautiful and ageless and timeless. And
well, I appreciate that. If you talk to my brothers, they'll have a different opinion. All with love, of course.
Of course, listen, our brothers keep us honest.
Absolutely, you know. But thank you for taking the time today. I appreciate it, and thank you for having Michael. It is Michael, right?
It is Michael, yes.
Yeah, for
he's my other brother.
Going through the the wind and the rain and the storm to get us here. I appreciate that very much.
Andy, we would go through a tsunami for you. You are really just one of a kind, exceptional, lovely human being. And it's been, I got to tell you, it was worth the wait that through all those years of interviewing Canadian artists that we finally get to speak. And I can't tell you anything more than it's an absolute honor to be in your presence, to watch your show, and to have these heartbeats, this intimate heartbeat one-on-one time. And you made mine beat a little faster.
Well, mutual. It's also mutual, you know that.
I'll see you December.
So are you in town on the 3rd?
I am in town on the 3rd, and my butt better be in that Massey Hall seat so my soul can shine again.
Okay.
Even though it's Sean, I won't even heckle Sean Cullen and say, hey, Bitch took my spot. No, we would love to attend. Michael and I would love to go again if you'll have us.
Okay, well, I'll see you there and we'll talk more during the year anyway.
Absolutely. Thank you for your time and thank you
Love
for
you.
being
Bye.
you. Love you too.